G'day there guys, it's Connie here again. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far, and I'm aiming to make it that little bit better by my dulcet tones. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some Reddit stories. Cheers. Okay, this one was originally posted on True Off My Chest. It was written by user Strawberry127, and it's titled, I'm 22 years old and just got the news I'm dying. I failed at life, and I'm now leaving behind a 3-year-old daughter. Yeah, just in case it wasn't already obvious, this one's going to be a bit heavy, guys. But we're in this together, so let's go. As the title says, last week I got the news that I'm dying from lung cancer from my doctor. Turns out smoking since I was 15 and then upping it to 3 packs each day a few years ago was a bad idea. Stupid, I know. I thought it wouldn't come so soon though. It's stage 4 and as of now, I have months to live. Please don't feel bad for me. I've done nothing good in life, except have my daughter, to really be sad about losing me. I have no family because I grew up in the foster system and aged out at 18. My daughter's father is in prison for serious crimes that, even if he got out, he wouldn't be allowed to be in her life. My daughter is only 3. We don't live in a good area, and when I go to work I have to leave her with an elderly neighbour that always gets her name wrong every day. I don't want her to grow up like I did, in that foster care system. I feel like it's the reason why I messed up and did nothing good in my life. Yeah, I know it's not the only reason and my own stupidity caused most of my issues, but if I just had some family or a support system to keep me in check, it could have been better. I just want to give her some chance to have a better shot than I did. The thing is, I do have an idea for who could take care of her. One of my closest friends is a co-worker at my job, and she's amazing. While I'm at the bottom of the job, like if they need to lay off people I would definitely be the first to go, she's their prized worker and makes serious bank. She has a good husband and a kid. I want to ask her if she would be okay with adopting my little girl once I'm gone, but I know it won't go well. The thing is, my co-worker and her family are black, and me and my daughter are white. Like we both have blue eyes and can't tan white. There's no way I can ask my friend to adopt my daughter and force her to deal with those kinds of issues an adoption like that will bring to her family. But then that just leaves my little girl to grow up like I did, in a crappy system with only a will of about $1,000 to help her and a necklace my mother had that I'm going to give her. I don't know if I should bite the bullet and ask my close friend if she's willing to take my daughter, or just suck it up and try to work as hard as I can to get as much money into my will for my girl. But either way, I failed as a mother, and that is a regret I'm literally taking to my grave. Yeah, really crappy scenario. I mean, you gotta ask, right? What else can you do? Let's see what the comments think. You are in a horrible situation, but whether or not it goes well, you have to ask them to adopt your daughter. It's great that you're thinking about your daughter's future, really. As long as it's someone you can trust, it won't hurt to ask. Also, please record a few videos and attach it to an email. You can set it up to delay sending until later in your daughter's life. My father has been doing that for me, and even though he's not gone, I still get an email every few years that he has delayed to make sure I know he loves me, with a video and a picture attached with my mum. Do this for your daughter. If asking your co-worker doesn't work out, maybe you can find an adoption agency in your area and find a family. I'm so sorry that this is happening to you and your little girl. If you need help somehow, or even just an ear, feel free to message me. It isn't your fault. The system failed you. I hope you realize that. It's not you. It's not individual stupid decisions. Growing up in foster care must have been hard as hell. It's amazing that you made it out and are trying so hard to do right by your daughter. Please don't be so sure that it won't go well with your co-worker. She might just surprise you. Believe me, she probably has more experience with the potential trauma that you mentioned that you can imagine. I'm so sorry to hear you're going through this. Try to keep a positive mindset and prayerfully your daughter will end up with a loving family. I honestly can't imagine what you're going through. I lost my son 5 years ago and have been in agony ever since. I'm not implying that the circumstances are the same. I'm just saying that I understand the love between a mother and her child. I understand all of the what ifs and regrets, but you have a chance to make sure your daughter has a good life. Please take it. Wishing you and your daughter the best. Yeah, absolutely. There's a chance there. You have to make the most of it. Opie makes an edit. Okay, I reached out to her and we were able to set up a place to meet. It's some simple cheap bakery you can eat inside. I'm going to ask her if she can adopt my daughter. That way, if she says no, I can have more time to go to an adoption agency near us. Thank you for the support, everyone. Okay guys, let's go straight to that update. Alright, I'm back now. A day after my post, I was able to meet up with my friend and co-worker, and after telling her about my diagnosis, which is something I haven't told anyone at work, I asked her if she was willing to adopt my little girl. She was shocked and tried to comfort me about my upcoming death, but she told me she couldn't give me her answer right then and there. Turns out she does want a daughter, but something happened in her second pregnancy and caused her issues I don't feel right sharing. So she does want to consider adopting, but she first needed to talk to her husband and talk about planning if he agrees. I understood since it was a big change in their family. I said okay, and after we ate, she gave me a hug and told me she will miss me. This is embarrassing, but I actually started crying. I also started making the emails. It gave me this idea and I thought it was amazing. So I created an email for my daughter and started pre-recording videos for stuff. It's nowhere near ready, but I already have some ideas and recorded some videos for her birthdays and some big life events like first crushes and prom and first job. Sad to say, but I realized planning it that most of the videos will be, don't do what I did. My friend reached out to me a few days ago and said that after having a long talk with her husband, they both are considering it. Apparently they do this thing where after talking about a huge change in their lives, they'll come to something to agree on and then wait for a while, and if they're still on the same page, then it sounds like a good idea. She did tell me that it wasn't a yes though. There are some issues they want to fix first. She said that while they both really like the idea, they barely know anything about my little girl. Her husband and 6-year-old son haven't even seen her, and while she has seen and heard about her, it's from me. So she told me about a plan they came up with. For the rest of this month, I'm going to have to get up 2 hours earlier than normal to drop off my daughter at their house so her husband can watch over her as he works at home. Then I'll go to work with my co-worker. This way her husband and son can get to know her. She also said she wants us to celebrate Christmas with them, so that's something to look forward to in the future. I've already done it yesterday, and when I went to go pick up my little girl, she was the happiest I've ever seen her in a long time. My friend's husband said that they went off on the wrong foot in the start. He said she was really scared sometimes and didn't want to play with their son yet, but since it was their first day, he thinks she'll get better. We did it again today, and he said she mostly watched their son play, but it was already better than yesterday. So that's what's happening right now. I'm scared this will be for nothing, but at the very least, now my daughter is getting better at their house for now. So even if they say no in the end, she already has some better memories than when she was with me. Yeah, it's tough to read the way that Opie talks about herself. I mean, she's got plenty of regrets, that's for sure, but it's still hard to read someone talking about themselves like this. One comment says, "Sending you so much love, sweetheart. I hope you're able to enjoy your little girl and find peace knowing she'll be with a loving family. And even if it ends up not working out, you did and are doing your best to provide her with the best possible future. Just a recommendation with the email. Get a backup or backups for the videos, be it a CD, USB, online backup or others. I have an email I use to receive only, and it goes directly to my mail app on iPhone, so I don't directly log into the account on Gmail. Well, I got an email some time ago that since there's been no activity on the email for a few years, that the account would be closed in a few months. So I just sent myself a few emails, but it may happen, so please get a backup, because she'll definitely appreciate it." Opie replies, "Thank you, I try to do backups in any videos. I think if my friend says yes after all of this, I'll tell her about the email deletion so she could help stop that from happening. What does scare me is doing all of the emails and having them lost before she can see them." Another comment says, "I know I'm only an internet stranger, but as a mum, I'm proud of you. You don't have much, but everything you do have is focused on your baby girl, and that's what makes a great mum. One thing I will say to add to the email idea, if you can, grab some loose sheets of paper or a small notebook and write down your favourite recipes, including all of the things that you add to make it something only you've made. Give that to her because one day she'll be happy to say, 'I made my mum's food.' Write down little happy things you come across in the time you have left. Not in email form, but in your own handwriting because she'll treasure that in years to come, and it's a tangible link to you. Write down places you like to go, favourite colour, favourite music, things like that. Little pieces of you, so she'll have something to physically hold on to when times get hard. You have all my love. And Opie replies, I was thinking of writing a letter for my little girl's 13th birthday. The only thing I have from my mum is this necklace that has been with me. I don't know what it is, but it has a lot of curls and hoops with a pretty, almost clear stone in the middle. I was going to write a letter explaining the necklace is from her grandmother, and now, since she would be old enough, it's going to be hers. I do have recipes I know she loves. That would be an amazing idea. She loves my egg salad sandwiches, so that's one recipe I'll write down. Thank you for the idea. Yeah, all great ideas for sure. Okay folks, on to another update. I'm back again. I'm sorry for being gone so long. A lot has happened and this will be my last post. So this is going to be long, sorry. First, I started feeling real sick the days after Christmas. My whole chest was hurting like someone was hitting it with a hammer over and over, and I was coughing up blood. My best friend was terrified that I caught something, because the doctors have said that me getting sick right now could be deadly, so we had to go to the doctor. Thankfully, I didn't get anything. It was the symptoms getting worse. Also, thankfully, at the time, I was still at work, so I didn't have to pay much for the bills. Yeah, that was another terrible thing that happened to me recently. After that trip to the hospital, my work called me in private. Remember how I said that if something were to happen, I would be the first to go? Well, guess what? The bosses were telling me how they couldn't keep me there as I'm dying because it wouldn't feel right, and how it's apparent to them my illness was slowing me down, and forcing my co-workers to work harder to make up for me wouldn't be fair, and all of that. I know I was just causing more problems to my co-workers since I got diagnosed, but I didn't think they would complain about me to my bosses. I'm so stupid for that. Of course I was being a pain. I was hoping to still be with them to the end of the month so I could pay my apartment rent, and I had barely enough money for bills, rent, groceries, public transport, and hospital bills. This is where my best friend / former co-worker comes in. After testing out caring for my little girl for a few weeks and spending a big holiday with them, she and her husband agreed to adopt her. She was telling me about some of her plans, and I told her it would probably be for the best that my daughter moves in with them. She asked me why, and I told her our work fired me, and I wouldn't be able to care for both of us with so little money. She told me we both could move in with them. They have plenty of guest rooms I could pick. I swear I tried to say no. Her family was already doing so much for us, I felt like this was too much. She told me I could be a huge help for them living there during my last months. Her husband could use the help looking after her as he works. I can help them decorate and fix up her new room, and show them the foods my daughter likes to eat. So I promise I'm not going to be a bother to them, and we're hard at work getting the needed papers together for the adoption after I'm gone. Besides, me living there could help my little girl become more comfortable in her new home. And guess how rich her family are? They have a personal family lawyer. When I haven't been feeling sick, we've been working with him to make sure the adoption goes through. Okay, after all of that, I do want to share some other fun news. Christmas with them was probably the best Christmas my daughter and even I have ever had our entire lives. My friend's family had like 5 Christmas trees in their entire house. Thanks to my friend, I was able to make a really special Christmas gift for my daughter and build a bear. Well, it was really a bunny, but still. I made a voice recording telling her how much I love and will always try to keep her safe. And my friend knows about the emails. I'm almost done with them actually, just a few more left. I gave her the password to both the email and this Reddit account, so once I pass, she could delete this one. Sorry, but I've been getting so many messages, I don't want people to message me when I'm gone. And about the messages, I've gotten a lot since I updated. Apparently my story was shared on TikTok, that's cool. It's weird, I've gotten so many people reaching out to me and messaging me wanting to talk. I've never had that happen in my life. It's funny how it happens once I'm dying. Tons saying how if my friend said no, they would love to adopt my little girl. Thank you, but thankfully my friend did say yes. But if you still want to adopt, please reach out to a foster care system in your state. There are still children struggling in the system going through what I did. Give those kids the life I could never have. I've also had some saying how they would love to pay me money to help. Please don't bother. Sorry, but it feels weird accepting money. My whole life I've worked for everything I've had, so it feels wrong accepting money and help from strangers just because I'm dying. I do want to address a few messages I've gotten about race. Most were about why I cared about my friend's family and me and my daughter's race being different. It wasn't a lot, but a few called me racist for caring about that. I want to say that my nerves about that isn't because I think me and my daughter being white makes us better than my friend. Far from it. I've seen a lot of stuff in the system and talked with other kids of different races, and those kids of different races were put into care with people who were also a different race from them. They would tell me the problems they faced from the parents. Not that I'm scared my friend will do that, but also from the outside world. Being called names and insulted. One kid told me how she got screamed at by some older lady at a restaurant, and the parents did try to get involved, and it got into a nasty fight. So yeah, I was scared her family and my daughter would face the same bigotry the foster kids I knew from before faced, but I can't let my fears about some bigots ruin my daughter's chances. Anyways, this will be the last time I'm going to probably post on here. I don't want to waste my last days. I've thought about taking up painting again actually. I used to paint when I was in high school before I was dropped out, and once in the same school we've read a classic book about a world where books are banned. I don't remember a lot from the story, but I do remember at the ending when a character said you didn't waste life when you make something to leave behind. That always stuck with me. I want to paint something. Maybe my friend could hang it up or keep it in their attic, but as long as I've left something behind, my life wasn't for nothing, right? I also need to help my friend's family and my daughter settle into their new lives. Thank you to everyone for your kindness, and goodbye. One comment says, what about your daughter's other parent, grandparents? I'm sorry this is happening, but please consider family first. And Opie replies, her father is in prison for hopefully a very long time because he did a crime involving children, so even if he got out, he would not be allowed around her. Not like I'd want him to. And my parents are dead. Oh yeah, heartbreaking stuff to read. But I love Opie's mindset. It's really positive. And yeah, I totally agree with OP. Like, get creative. Art and music and all those things make life worth living. And maybe if OP could make a little painting or something for her daughter, I reckon she'd appreciate that a lot. The thing about that, like a recipe you've made, it's something that's unique to you. Something that no one else can claim but you. And that's special. Okay guys, let's go to the new and final update. It's titled, She's Resting Now. I've wrote and deleted this post so many times. She asked me to update for all of you when she passed, and yet I couldn't until now, and for that I'm sorry. We buried her 2 weeks ago. My co-workers, our family, and even some friends she made over her life that she managed to keep in touch with, showed up to her funeral. When she saw the prices of what a casket and plot of land in the cemetery would cost, she had a panic attack, and so we told her we'll go with the cheapest prices. We lied about that. She deserved a good funeral and a nice resting place. Her name was Michelle. She was put into the foster care system when she was 3 after her mother passed in a car accident. She never knew her father. When she was 16, the man who was supposed to be caring for her took her out of high school. She found out she was pregnant from him when she was 18, and it was discovered he had horrible images and videos of children on his computer, and so was arrested. Ever since, she was working and doing her damn best to make ends meet for her and her daughter. She got a job at our workplace just a few weeks after she turned 19. I only discovered just a few months ago she actually lied to get the job. I asked Michelle why she did that, and she responded, "Why would it be such a big deal? They taught me everything anyways." That is the Michelle I knew. It shocks me reading over her messages she left behind, how little she thought of herself. She was always so confident, at least how we all saw her. She walked head held high with a purpose. She never appeared out of control of a situation, except for the past few months, and honestly, I believe she was allowed to have moments of panic and grief. Nothing went past her, too. She seemed to know everything that was going on around her at all times. It also seemed like Michelle wasn't afraid of anything. She even made friends with some homeless people around the areas she lived in before moving in with us. One of them was Ted, who she knew because he was around a gas station besides the bus stop. Before her cancer took a turn for the worst, she was taken to a hospital, and she asked me to drive her there. I thought at the time she wanted to see some familiar sights, but instead she walked into the gas station, bought a sandwich, and then walked around the side and handed it to who I learned was Ted. Ted showed up to her funeral. I don't want to describe her last few weeks when she was alive. It was in the hospital and she was so weak and frail, just not like her. We visited her as much as we could. Our children hated seeing her in such a state though, all of us did, but we couldn't just ignore her and leave her behind. I wonder if it was the right thing to do though. Our last visit, I just had a feeling it was the end. She was asleep when she finally passed on. She had gladiolus and poppies at her funeral. We all loved the meaning behind the gladioli flower, and she picked poppies because she loved calling our daughter her little poppy. We painted little poppies on her bedroom walls. She keeps asking us where her mother is, and always sleeps with the bunny Build-A-Bear Michelle made. Michelle never got to finish her painting, but I think that makes it more special. We're going to hang it up in our daughter's room for when she gets older. The emails are finished, and she's going to see her first one on her 4th birthday. We have all the letters and recipes she was able to write down, tucked away in a safe location. Like the painting, we'll give them to her as she grows older. We also were able to apply our daughter for full Social Security survivors benefits, and we'll be putting those into a savings account for future college or life use. That's all I can think of right now. According to Michelle's wishes, I'll be deleting this account in a few weeks. My husband and I promise we'll raise our daughter to the very best we can and make sure she is as loved as Michelle loved her. Thank you all for your kind words and support. Guys, Reddit's not usually one to make me cry, but I must admit that was really hard. I had to go back and re-record a few sentences in those last few paragraphs there. But man oh man, how glad I am to hear that the daughter's with a family that loves her, and her late mother for that matter. Rest in peace, Michelle. Let's read a few final comments, as if we're not sad enough already. Sometimes it's very humbling to remember that the strangers we met and cared about, laughed with and cried for, are gone forever from the real world. I certainly don't think she failed at life. I'm struck by the kindness of people, her co-workers and friends, especially the ones who took in the daughter, but the good-hearted advice people gave her, that bunny with the recording, so heartbreaking and moving. Damn Poland in the air. Rest well, Michelle. I remember Michelle's posts. I really didn't want to see this update, but I'm so glad her friend did make this update and told us more about what an amazing person Michelle was. I hope her little poppy lives a long and happy life. It seems to me like she's in good hands. Dang it, where are my tissues? Yeah, that about sums it up. Anyway guys, you know the drill. Let me know your thoughts down below, and we'll move on to another one. Okay, for something probably a bit less heavy-handed, we're on relationship advice. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, How do I, 36 male, make my wife, 38, tell me who is sending food to her at her workplace on a daily basis? Details? This is a first, since in 10 years together there hasn't been a single jealousy-induced fight since neither of us are the jealous type. I was cheated on pretty bad by another person. She knows this and knows I'm insecure about it, so we're both pretty open about our friends and families to avoid misunderstandings between us, till she started to get all secretive with this specific matter. She stopped eating the food I cook for her because someone pays for her food now. The catch? There aren't any co-workers in her office. She does consultation at her own little one-person place, and everything else is managed off-site by the company she's working for. Now, why am I making a big deal out of it? It was not a big deal till it was. I was super happy for her because maybe some clients were so satisfied with the service that they sent her food in gratitude. It was a bi-monthly occurrence at best, and she used to tell me, example, hey, this client sent me some Starbucks, nice, or wow, another client's mother made me a sandwich and some Jell-O. But then it became bi-weekly, and then she stopped knowing who sent her the now expensive food, and nowadays it's daily. She always returns my food to me when she gets home, gone all bad because she didn't eat any. I don't make a big deal, but I stopped making jokes about it like, hey, tell them to send some for me too, or things like that, because it started to annoy me that she doesn't eat my food and lets it go bad. I'm a pretty good cook and I hate wasting food. And it got weird when she started to show off that the food someone sent to her is better, costly and restaurant made. It started as an annoyance about wasting food, but what triggered my insecurity about this is that one day, after she sent me the usual picture, I told her, surprise, I got ahead and sent you that from Y place, and she replied all annoyed, haha, funny, I know it wasn't you, winky face. I asked her, who is it then? Her answer? I don't know. So she doesn't believe it was me, but doesn't know who it was. The second catch, they always send her things pretty specific to her likings. I may be paranoid, but most items she gets are things that she has to tell someone she likes, since it's not generic expensive food, but menu items catered to her palate, or drinks prepared exactly how she likes them. She could be ordering herself, but she denies it, like it would kill her to tell me. She knows I don't mind, I just don't want wasting food. If she's ordering food for herself, why doesn't she tell me? I told her it wouldn't be a problem since that way I can save food at home and won't wake up as early, but she still denies and still doesn't know who it is. It's the first time I get this type of treatment from her. Why be so secretive about some food? She knows it gets worse if you hide this type of deal instead of being just open about it, like it's some weird client obsessed with sending me food, or it's my mum/brother/friend/the company. Like she could have lied like that and it would be enough to stop me from asking her every time. Nice, but who is sending you this? And instead she decided being all mysterious and mischievous about it. Wow, yeah, this is bizarre. I honestly have no idea. I'd be more inclined to say that she's buying it and she feels bad about it, and now she's kind of doubling down on the lie, but still, seems weird. Let's go to the comments. Dude, this is so weird. She's playing some kind of mind game with you. If she didn't want to tell you who, why would she tell you at all about it? It's so childish. Like literally something we would do in high school. Hey, I got flowers today. From who? I don't know. It's always to provoke jealousy. Nobody is sending food, especially expensive food, to their friend every single day. Whoever is doing it is romantically interested in her, and she fully knows who it is. Don't be naive. She won't tell you who because she either likes the food, likes the attention, or both. Hopefully there's nothing more going on than some free food. Opie replies, right? I try not to obsess over it, but she started getting super secretive, knowing that's an obvious trigger for me, and overall people who have been cheated on. Instead of just telling the truth or even lying, I would have instantly believed anything she told me if that was the case, and despite knowing that, she still decides to be secretive. Damn, I'll even be fine if she outright tells me, look, it's some guy or gal that seems to have feelings for me. Don't worry, I'm just in it for the food. And she fully knows I won't have any problem with it. That's how much I trust her. What I don't like are all the little secrets, tee-hee, like that, because I get paranoid about it. Yeah, that comment makes a really good point. It probably is someone that's into her, and it's definitely someone she knows. Opie makes a short update in the comments. Are update posts allowed here, right? As per Rule 5 if I understand correctly. She's about to come home in an hour or so I'll try to talk to her seriously one last time before getting matters on my own hands. I don't like snooping, but most of you recommended I will have to if I want some real answers, even if it means hiring a PI or following people around. I'll update whenever I can after the allowed time. I hope the possible update is uninteresting. Also, it's probable I'll update with another throwaway account because I just made this one on impulse and the password is pure bullcrap, I can't remember. Okay, 7 hours after posting, he updates in the comments again. So, this isn't worth its own post. It went, begrudgingly, faster than I anticipated. I'm with a friend right now. Asked him for some space so I could write a little, or a ton, and tomorrow I'll be at my parents'. Believe it or not, I'm not angry or destroyed or all that shiz. I'm just sad and tired, and want to puke, and want to write something to vent. Excuse my spelling errors. You are also not going to believe this. To the person who told me this is almost like a sitcom, what the F? This is a freaking sitcom. You were right. You'll see why soon. I told and asked her some of the things some of you told me I could say to her before starting my own investigation. I'm a calm person, so usually it doesn't matter the topic I talk about, it never comes as rude. This is important because I don't want you to think that I screamed at her or something like that. I don't want you to picture me as a saint, but I'm as non-violent as a person can be. Her reaction was as bizarre as this whole crap. Long story short, or short story long, I asked her why is she accepting food from strangers, and she started verbally abusing, and don't worry if you don't believe me, it started out of nowhere. It's like she exploded out of frickin' nowhere. As I wrote in another comment, yeah, we fight like any couple, but she's never abused me or insulted me or my family. Again, this was a first. I guess I was not pressing enough or making the correct questions because I never got this reaction from her before. One of the things she screamed at me was something like, "Why the frick are you pestering me? I bet you never knew a frickin' surprise in your whole childhood." No, scratch that. I know you never had a frickin' surprise in your whole childhood. So now whenever I get a gift you get all jealous. Is that it, right? Then she started a tirade on how my parents were crap at raising me and everything. I told her that was unprovoked and that I just wanted her to be careful when eating outside, even more so if she didn't know where the food comes from. I'll repeat myself as many times as necessary. We never fought like this. In 10 years, she's never screamed at me or insulted me like this. I told her to please not insult me or my parents because I'm just trying to talk. She screamed, "Then what the hell do you want from me?" And guys, I told her the stupidest thing ever. Quote, "To please eat my food, or tell me whenever you're going to eat outside so I won't cook." Her answer, "Then don't frickin' cook for frick's sake." I asked her to please stop screaming at me, and I told her that it wasn't like that. I was concerned that she was receiving food without knowing the source, and I didn't like wasting food. At this point, I was still acting as if everything was about her not eating my food. That whole interchange lasted less than 15 minutes, but it was enough to trigger her like I've never seen her before in 10 years. I'll omit like 2 hours and a half of details because I don't want to write a frickin' Bible. I'll just go for the most important bits for me. Yeah, judging by that outburst, she's definitely hiding something. Now for comment 2, 7 hours after posting. She was seeing an ex from a bunch of friggin' years ago. This chick started to send her not only food, but gifts because suddenly she wanted to reignite crap or whatever. But no, it wasn't sudden at all. They started just talking like 8 years ago, and the gifts started a couple years ago too. Wife got bi-curious because she, and I quote, wanted to taste the touch of a woman again, so they slept together multiple times since years ago. Please, 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 I beg you don't misunderstand me. This isn't a post about that. I'm not hating anyone for their preferences, but you don't do that when you're married. Or better yet, you talk to your partner like, "Hey, I'm curious about this or that. Can we do anything about it if it's good with you?" Something like that. Communication. Told her so, but I pressed for her to come full clean. Remember, this is after 2+ hours discussing these issues. And you are also not going to believe this. After some more talking, she told me, "You want clean? I'll give you clean." Sleeping with her ex triggered a craving for different people. She slept with a male co-worker of hers in a past job like 5 years ago, slept with another male ex of hers, slept with a chick from the club, slept with a chick from that same job, and slept with her latest ex, all while we were already married. I asked why. Her answer? She wanted to feel wanted by everyone. Was I not enough? Hard no. Maybe if I could change the shape of my penis on command, but that wouldn't even be enough because she wanted to try different bodies and crap like that. Why marry me? Or because I'm a good person and she wanted someone as stable as me? Why do that to a good person then? It's only sex, but it's important for me. Grow up. I have needs. I know it's a big deal for you, that's why I never tell you. Tell me, as in present time. Yes, she was still in contact with most of her F-buddies, but more so her exes. Why not try everything she wanted, then date me, then marry me? She told me the stupidest thing. She was calling dibs on me. Guys, I didn't have any other lovers or so. She was competing for me versus no one. I could have waited for her for 1, 5, or 10 years. I told her, I'm gone then. Her answer? Have fun. What did I do to you to be treated like this? Nothing, but I'm seriously tired of pretending, having to hide and lie, and you pestering me about this crap was the last straw. She told me that if I never started to get weird about food, I wouldn't ever know, and we could still be happy. I told her it isn't my fault, and she responded, I know, but you ruined your status quo. As in, I'm happy like this, you ruined it for you by pestering me. Last question. Then why act all mysterious with the food? If she'd just told me, oh, it's from the company or a friend, everything would have stayed the same. Answer, frickin' grow up, please. What the F happened to my wife? I was never treated like this. I know now that my trust for her was so big I was blind to a bunch of signs. What signs? I still don't frickin' know, but she said all that as if it was all under my nose. Why she exploded after 10 years, and why just after I started bettering myself for her? Why not before? Or later for that matter? I will not post again, nor answer anything, but thank you for your concern and support. I remembered the password of this account, so if I see this crap on TikTok, I'm deleting the post. Have a great night, everyone. Don't insult anyone, please. Edited to add this. Also, don't hate anyone. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that, but geez, what a roller coaster. And the way the wife tried to flip the blame on him. I can't help but feel like she was purposefully being secretive and mysterious so he would find out and ultimately they'd have an excuse to break up. But who knows? How can you possibly predict behaviour from a psycho like that? Anyway, give me your thoughts down below, and we'll move on to another one. Okay, we're still on relationship advice. This one was written by Throwaway Account, and it's titled, My female 27, soon-to-be husband 28, called me by his assistant's name during sex. My significant other and I have been high school sweethearts, and we're due to get married this June. We just have a chemistry that works extremely well and always did. I love him very much, and I know he loves me too, but with what he did recently, I'm having extreme doubts about his faithfulness. We are trying to get pregnant, and when we had sex a few days ago, he called me by his assistant's name right as he got off. He immediately got up and apologised and seemed extremely shocked. I was shocked too. After that, he has been very apologetic and seemed genuinely remorseful, but I'm having difficulty coming around to forgiving him. The way he said it too came across as if he was thinking about her. The only other person I've told this to is my mum and dad, and she thinks that my boyfriend has or currently sleeps with his assistant and that his tongue slipped up. I'm having doubts because now everything looks suspicious to me. He goes to Dallas once every 2 weeks and his assistant accompanies him. Those are work trips and are paid for by his company, but those are starting to look suspicious to me now. 3 months ago I got laid off from work and he asked me if I could stay at home since we're trying to have a child and I could be a stay-at-home mother. Now I don't know if I should depend on him or try to get a job or not. My life is just filled with confusion all of a sudden. Honestly, I didn't think he would ever cheat on me, but I can't think of a reason why someone would say someone else's name after sex. His explanation is that he was thinking about work, and that is why his assistant's name slipped up. He has tried to fix things, but they don't seem enough for some reason. He told me if I want, I can go through his phone or his computer, and I did, but I did not find anything. I want to trust him, I really do, but it feels foolish to me to do so now. My mum thinks he is 100% cheating, while my dad agrees he also thinks that it could be a mistake and I should make sure before I end the relationship. He does think that I should 100% be mad at him, even if it was a slip-up. I don't know what to do with us being so close to getting married. Advice, please? Yeah, geez, even if he wasn't having an affair, the fact that he was thinking of his assistant during that time is pretty bad. If it hasn't already reached an affair, he's got to separate himself from his assistant and, marriage cancelling and all of that. Let's go to the comments. Well, I can tell for sure that if he works with the colleague a lot, it can happen. Do this and that. Jessica. Did you send reports? Jessica. When you do this all day, it can come out automatically. I've seen it myself. Sometimes my colleague names his girlfriend in name of our girl colleague. It can happen. When you were little, you probably called the school teacher Mum, no? Talk things out with him. I can tell it's bugging you a lot. OP says, I haven't thought about this and this could be a possibility. I've been to his workplace and he does take her name quite a lot. Still, saying it during sex is still a bit too much, but if this is the case, I think I can forgive him. I just have to find a way to make sure it isn't something else. Another comment says, use your own money and you should surprise him in Dallas on his next trip. OP says, he's supposed to leave tonight. I can visit him tomorrow since I have time. Commenter says, well, I would show up after work at his apartment and see if his assistant is actually staying in a hotel. Yeah, I just booked a ticket. I won't mind spending a day or two in Dallas myself if everything is like he says it is. Another comment says, do you have keys to the apartment? I'd go there, hang out, and wait for him to get home. For a surprise. Opie says, I don't have the keys to that apartment. I can visit him at night time. He should be home alone at that time. Oh, this should be interesting. Update 3 weeks later. A lot to unwrap here, but I'll start by thanking those who decided to try to help me out here. He came from the last trip, and when he went again, I decided to go then. When I went to his apartment, I found her there along with some other people. His co-workers were all planning to go out. I did make up a story why I was there to make sure he wasn't embarrassed in front of his co-workers because I stormed into his apartment, and I think that worked. They all went out, and after that, he stayed back and we had a fight because according to him, I just humiliated him in front of his colleagues. Right now, things are tense between us. He stayed back in Dallas saying he needs some space and we haven't talked after that. I don't know if I was trying to catch him in the act or not, but it didn't work out, and now I feel like 100 times worse. I regret telling my mum about this because she sent a voice message to him and told him to stop being a baby and nothing would have happened if I didn't say another woman's name. He sent me the voice note my mum sent him. I did confront my mum about this and she did apologise to him. Now I feel like maybe it was an honest mistake on his part and that I blew it out of proportion. Waiting on him to come back so we can talk it out and fix this and move forward. Just a little update. Things didn't go well like I wanted it to. One comment says, did the assistant have any reaction to seeing you? Was she cold or surprised or anything? Honestly, this could be a harmless slip on his end, but I would do my diligence before the wedding. No matter how angry he gets, divorces are so much harder than breakups. If you're trying to set the record straight before moving forward, he shouldn't be resistant about it. It was him who said another woman's name in bed. You didn't start any of it. Opie replies, everyone was a little surprised to see me there, to be honest, not just her. My partner was surprised too. We aren't getting married, and we're no longer engaged. Probably in the future. He's a pretty straightforward guy himself. Either he'll end it, or be okay with it. Things are bad right now, and I'm going to give him time, and let him come and talk to me. Info, why was it bad that you surprised him? What was wrong with you being around his colleagues, and especially his assistant? If he loves you, he should be glad to see you. What was the deal? What did you say when you entered the apartment that could have embarrassed him? I gotta be honest, I'm not liking his behaviour. What's up with his friends? This whole thing is messed up. What is he doing talking about this with his assistant? Update me. Opie replies, I don't know what I said exactly because I was very angry at the time, but as I mentioned in the post above, I stormed into his apartment and was accusatory. I did salvage the situation though, but I think in his mind that wasn't good enough. Edit, forgot to mention my boyfriend told me that he told his assistant about this and she made the same mistake a while back with her fling because they refer to each other a lot. Okay, so that's the excuse they're going with. Okay. Second edit. He left his Mac at home, so I decided to see if he was talking to her or not. I just opened his WhatsApp and he's not talking to her, but his friends are all telling him to break up with me. Like I didn't even do anything drastic. His chat with his assistant is work-related, but I'm disturbed by what his friends think. Looks like a breakup is about to happen. I let him break up with me because I think I'd get closure that way. Third edit, reading his chat for a while, and the last thing he said was, I'll end it when I see her next. So it's over, pretty much. Geez, I really feel for OP. I feel like she had somewhat of a right to be accusatory in this situation. Like she had a proper excuse to feel the way she did, but instead she gets made out to be the psycho, over-jealous kind of girlfriend. Yeah, a rough ending. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you guys enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.